Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ryan and Degenerate Passive Income coming to you today on a Friday, December 5th, 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got something special for you today. Everybody knows what's under the EMP umbrella. We've got, DexFi Treasury bonds. We've got EMP Fusion itself. We've got Bernard bonds. We've got the Treasury bonds. We've got multiple things going on for passive income for people to play with. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. We are here to just give you an opportunity. We're here talking about LSteak. It's the latest and greatest thing coming out. We're hoping for a launch date first week of February, somewhere around there, guys. And we're going to talk about it all today. Please ask questions in the comments as we go through it. We will try to address every single one of them. We're going to try to keep it about an hour long. I know there'll be lots of questions, but we're going to be doing AMAs every single week, okay? I promise that. I'm not sure what day it's going to be, but we're going to have a set time and a date. Maybe we might even do two, depending on how much interest there is. But as you know, all this is under the EMP umbrella. It is, the team is doxed, the wallet doxed, the whole usual thing, guys. This is what the space wants. This is what the space needs. This is what we do. If you can't see wallets, if you can't see faces, what is the point? I trust nobody besides the EMP team. Today, for a first ever live AMA of his entire life, it is Grover321 from Telegram. Everybody knows in the PLAZM group. Is an absolute legend, an absolute genius, answering all the questions that anybody asks instantly. I don't think the guy sleeps. He is Furry Blue Me from my YouTube channel, who, when I do my AMAs, me and AJ can't even get to the question. He's typing out answers. So he is here with us. He is the one with the idea behind LSteak. Brought it to AJ and his team. Remember, this is all under the EMP umbrella. So obviously, trusted team. Everybody's docs. We're here to answer all questions. We're here to tell you about the opportunity. And I think it's going to be amazing. I have labeled it PLAZM on steroids. I think it's going to be something special. I'm going in heavy. Doesn't mean you should, guys. It's just something I believe in because I love the mechanics. So Grover, first name is Graham. So I will call him Graham throughout the interview, guys, and the AMA. His name is Graham. He's from Australia. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could make it. And I look forward to, doing these every week. So I think we should start off. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how, what you've done in the space and how this has all come about.
Well, hi, I'm Graham, as just mentioned, known as Grover. Don't mind either name. I've had the name Grover since in the 90s, the early days of internet. So it's almost my name. And with an intro like that, geez, I've got a lot to live up to. Well, I myself have been in the crypto space. It's about eight and a bit years now. I started off just with a little bit of fun trading on the centralized exchanges, and then as DeFi came out, went through all of the fun bits such as tomb fork season, and that's basically how I got to meet AJ and Jake, and well, I've been helping behind the scenes with a number of their things since then, and it's just grown into a big DeFi monster that I love doing. As far as my history is concerned, I was at one stage going to be an engineer, and that's why I'm rather good at maths. My career path took a totally different avenue for a while. I was in management of hospitality, but after that, I had a workplace injury, and that brought me to working from home and DeFi.
Excellent.
That's in a very short nutshell what brought me to DeFi and where I am. I've been in here 8 years, and I'm sure as anyone that's been in it that long has been hacked, has been rugged, has been all of those things that happen. And I think the saying goes, if you haven't been hacked, rugged, scammed, or in a Ponzi, you haven't been in DeFi long enough.
That's exactly right. We've all been through it. It's been miserable. And this is why I work with the EMP team, because I've been with AJ. I've been in crypto for 7, 8 years. And I've been with AJ for 4.5 now, all the way back from, the old EMP money with the NFT.
Yeah, I remember crazy days. E-share being like $2,000 one moment, then down to 600. The swing trading was insane on E-share.
Yes. So I've been with them a long time, and I'm glad that this will be under the EMP umbrella, as everyone loves AJ, everyone loves the EMP umbrella, and
Jay and Jake are just brilliant guys.
Yes, brilliant team, brilliant guys. I can't say enough about them. Just honest and true, and I love those guys, and I want to work with those guys, for years to come, because they're amazing people. So, with that said, Graham, what is LSteak? What's the idea behind it? What are we actually getting involved with here?
Okay. LStaking is a liquid staking platform. Now, the problem with and there are other liquid staking platforms out there of various success and so forth, but the problem that all existing liquid staking platforms have is that the yields that causes their tokens to increase in redemption ratio, to increase in price, relies on either low yield sources such as nodes actually staking into nodes, or inflationary tactics like emissions or recycling money through taxes, and other means that aren't real revenue, and unless and have Ponzonomics involved. LStake doesn't have any of that. All revenue comes in from real yield sources. At launch, its primary revenue stream will be Bernard bonds, and also LStake from launch will be having hedge backing, which I know of no other liquid staking protocol that is going to be having hedge backing in BTC, ETH, and PACA. I think that's one of the big sellers. Is I am absolute adamant that in the hedge funds we will be holding, even if we have to hold it on ETH mainnet, however it's held, we will have PACA as a hedge.
Okay, and that hedge backing? Can you, for those who don't know, what actually is the hedge backing, Graham?
Okay, the hedge backing is a portion of the backing behind LStake will be held basically the same as hodling, right? It will have a pure BTC portion, pure ETH portion, and pure PACA portion. Now, the reason to hold it like this is it enables you to have, yes, Bernard Bonds has Ethereum, and to a lesser extent, I believe there is some BTC in there exposure. This gives you a portion of your backing as full market exposure to BTC ETH, which gives you your macro markets exposure, your DeFi exposure with ETH, because that's those two primary sections, and your PACA, which is gold, right, provides hedge against adverse market conditions, because when everything craps the bed, gold goes up.
Exactly.
That's what hedges. It's holding an allocation of the backing of the funds to prevent it in adverse conditions from being hit as hard, and also in positive conditions, like when there's a bull run, when BTC and ETH are just going insane, it catches that upside as well.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, oh, I lost you there for a second. Are you still there, Graham?
You're still, yes, yeah, you're still here from my side.
Okay. We lost audio for a second. Okay, now we know what the hedge backing is. As far as maybe we should talk about like some of the tokenomics. What chain is it going to be on? How is it going to be used? What does it look like going from here? Just the developing stages and things of that nature.
I know. Well, okay. I think, how can I explain LStake? Right. basically, the easiest way to describe this will be to follow the flow of money of investment for you. Right. What happens is you invest your money into LSteak, and then it is allocated into various slots. A minimum of 80% will be put into bonds, and 15% will be put into hedge funds. That's minimum 80% into bonds and a maximum of 15% into hedge funds. Initially, we are aiming to get bonds up as quickly as possible. So 95% will be going directly into bonds. Right. There is a 5% treasury allocation, and this is the most flexible allocation that we have. This enables us to deal with operational funds and using it to increase liquidity. That's our flexibility percentage to be able to cover all the needs that a protocol needs. Initially, again, our aim is to make sure that we're on as solid a foundation as possible. So there is a small portion that is being taken to pay for startup costs, and then the remainder is being split 50-50 between increasing bond backing and also increasing hedge backing. So what happens is you enter the project with USDC or ETH, right? That then mints you LSteak at the current ratio. All right, so that's the current value of it based upon Bernard bonds. All right, at launch, 100 LSteak will be equivalent in price to one bond. After that, the price is then determined upon the TVL of the backing of LSteak. Right, that's all the backing across the ecosystem and across all the partners. The backing of LSteak is then based upon the number of tokens in existence and the amount that it is. So that's a expression of the value of the backing of the LSteak token. Now, from there, bonds obviously, or anything else that we're using yield for yield, is then it's earning yield. We then split that yield into two parts. One part's being compounded back into the primary LSteak token to increase its backing and to push its price up further, to keep on pushing its price up further and increasing again the yield as compounding does. The second part goes into the liquid staking derivative. All right, and that's SLSteak. All right, so you take you've invested your funds, you get your LSteak token, and then you stake those LSteak tokens into SLSteak. Right, and in return you get SLSteak. Initially, the ratio will be a 1-to-1. Right, but as time changes, that will go up, and this is because a portion of the yield also goes into the backing of the SLSteak token. So what this has to do is to increase the backing, which is in LSteak. It's then the yield comes in USDC. Right, it has to convert that into LSteak to put it in the backing for the SLSteak. So it then has to buy more bonds to mint more LSteak to put back in the bonding to the liquid staking version. This effectively gives you a double boost. You're getting the boost of the baseline price of LSteak, and then you're getting a boost in the ratio of the liquid staking derivative of it, making it so the price of the liquid staking derivative goes up faster than the price of the LSteak itself. All right, that's the base core system. Right, there are obviously systems behind this that routes routes to help prevent unwanted price changes and a variety of things. But that's it in a nutshell. From there, we can then expand sideways by offering what's called liquid staking as a service. This is in effect the same system, but siloed for a new project such as eShare. Right? This enables them to have a liquid staking derivative of their primary token. So there could be an SE share, which then uses yield from the project's own bond vault that they end up getting to feed their liquid staking contract and cause buy pressure, because it ends up having to buy eShare or whatever the token is to increase the ratio. And LSteak, the primary core, gets a percentage of the funds going in and the yield from that, which helps make the core stronger. Partner projects end up having 4 avenues where someone can enter. They can enter using USDC, Ethereum, partner token, primary token, eShare, but they can also use LSteak. This then starts to make an integrated web of any project that uses the system, where they can use LSteak to get into any project under the LSteak system, or to be able to exit from any partner stake into a different one. It enables an interaction between a whole web of interaction between all of the projects that utilize the system, increasing volume, which increases fees, which increases burns, and just snowballs into a massive big flywheel. Excuse me, I think I need a little bit of coffee. It's like 5 a.m. here.
So is it fair to say that, and I know it's already been asked, why LSteak over PLAZM? And, this isn't pick or choose, guys. This is diversifying. We're not saying LSteak is going to outperform PLAZM. PLAZM is going to outperform LSteak. We're not saying any of that. All of this, is it fair to say, Graham, that LSteak will help eShare, PLAZM, Bernard Bonds, etc., grow and help the actual
most
fly?
Definitely. I mean, like, it's designed to be able to, one, obviously help the LSteak system itself, because that's how you design anything. But any partner project that gets involved, for example, AJ has said that eShare will be one of the first projects to be involved with as a LSAS partner. All right, so there will be a liquid derivative of eShare. It helps eShare because the system, when it puts continuous buy pressure on any partner token that it takes on. Right, that's from compounding through the yield from the bonds. That's through burn structure in the routing. It's other metrics like that. What that means for the EMP ecosystem and the Bernard Bonds ecosystem is, firstly, Bernard Bonds TVL is likely to go through the roof.
Right.
Secondly, all right, for a partner project such as eShare, it's putting constant buy pressure on it. Right, obviously that it helps bring the price up, but because the actual eShare are locked away in a contract until someone redeems them, right, it's effectively taking them off the market and reducing the tradable supply of eShare, which again, brilliant for tokenomics of any coin. You're adding consistent buy pressure, and you're locking away tokens from trade. The two pluses, that makes your supply demand ratio, your supply demand ratio better, and that constant feed of buy pressure, just like the buy and burn does with PLAZM, keeps on just pushing it up into the and with a product such as eShare, having that system on top of it obviously pushes eShare up, pushes PLAZM up, and helps the whole ecosystem.
Okay. So, and then maybe we should take some of these questions as they're being asked, otherwise they'll get flooded in the chat. I won't see them. But Pascal says the goal of LSteak is to build liquidity for eShare or something of that nature.
To build, no. LSteak doesn't build liquidity. There is a bit of a misnomer on what people feel when you say liquid staking. They feel that it's staking into the liquidity. Now, that's a little bit of a misnomer. It's called liquid staking because, unlike a stake, it enables you to utilize it in a 100% liquid manner. Right? That means that when you've staked, so your value of your staked derivative is going to be going up, right? But at any time, it's not a case of you have to go in and unstake and do all of that. You can trade that token at all times. It's not locked away. You don't have to wait for any lockup period or anything like that. You can just go, oh, I've got $100 worth of SL stake there, and I need $100 and take it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then he says, so you can stake LSteak on eShare and ETH, etc. if you don't have eShare or ETH.
You can stake LShare on. I'm not sure what he means by
eShare. Yeah, I don't think that's He just says so you can stake LSteak on eShare and ETH, etc. if you don't have eShare or ETH. I think LSteak is all by itself until the
LSteak is the method of which is the token. I mean, if you have a look, for example, if you have a look at any other liquid staking projects, they take a token such as Ethereum, which is already existing, to create the liquid staking derivative of it. Instead of taking a token like Ethereum or whatever and utilizing that token, I'm creating your own token and using the funds to get that to back the yield. Right. So instead of having a token and then finding a yield source, you're using the token to create the yield source for the staking derivative of that token.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. And now Peter chimed in, and we talked about this because I asked you this a while ago, Graham. If Bernard Bonds is the underlying yield mechanism, why wouldn't I just buy bonds? What's everybody wants to know this? What is the answer to that?
The answer to that is well, firstly, Bernard Bonds, you have to admit, if you're exiting, first of all, you've got a 10% exit fee. So straight up, you lose 10% there. All right. Okay, that's why the 5% treasury that's why the treasury allocation was kept at 5%. So that worst case scenario, right? If you were to enter and then at launch and then exit immediately, you're likely to only have about 5 to 8% total slippage, which is or loss in cost, which is less than your 10% on exiting bonds. So first of all, on exit, you're at a better footing, right from day dot. Right. Secondly, bonds you can't partially exit. You're either a whole bond or that's it. Right. So if bonds are worth $200 and you really only need $50 of that for whatever reason, you can't do that. You've got to redeem a whole bond. This is enabling it to be fractionalized, and you can just sell off however much you need at whatever time, if that's what you wish to do. Thirdly, is hedge backing. Bernard bonds it is great. They're brilliant. They're great for yields. They are brilliant, and they do have predominantly Ethereum exposure, Ethereum and alt exposure. But realistically speaking, they don't have a hedge backing. Right? The hedge backing gives stability to the value of LSteak in being BTC, ETH, PACA. It gives you stability through most market conditions. Now, thirdly, you're not just getting yield from the bonds themselves, right? You're getting yield from partner projects coming in, because there's fees coming in from them, feeding the primary LSteak core. There's internal fees being sorted, through the routing and etc., which go back into increasing the backing. And there's also within the routing mechanisms burn systems, which reduce the total supply of LSteak, and that increases the relative backing of LSteak, bringing the price up. So as a result, your relative yield on LSteak will be higher than the Bernard bonds, and it also has hedge backing. Does that answer the question sufficiently?
I think so. Yeah, you've got the hedge backing. You've got the 10%. Obviously, it's not 10% to exit. Things of that nature. So I think if it's not, guys, please in the comments ask again. Another one, Henry Jones says, what platform do we private message Grover on? Telegram.
Telegram.
Henry, yeah, Telegram. I'm sure you're in one of the groups that Grover's in. He's at Grover 321. I will put that in the link in the description as well if you need to have questions. But we're going to have a Telegram group for just this, obviously, guys. We can ask questions there. And then Peter says, will you make explainer videos and graphics like PLAZM has? They will be out by Sunday. Okay, I just heard from our legend, CK. He has all the information. He is going to be putting out videos, and prior to approval by Graham himself, they will be posted on his channel. I will put his channel in the description as well. They will all be in all of my groups as well, so you'll be able to just click it. So there will be all kinds of informational videos. Like I said, we're gonna have weekly AMAs, and then explainer videos. And then Pulse says, so there will be a place to stake eShare, PLAZM, and other tokens in time, website, and docs. Yeah, website.
Yes.
Not even documents. When's the white paper going to be? Done, Graham?
Well, I have the current final draft ready. It's a chunker of a white paper. I'm going to have to try and make it smaller. It's 100 pages, so I have to figure out a way to I don't go halves when I make something. I try and make sure I plug all the holes. So, 100 pages is a bit of a novel. I will also try and make light paper, so you don't have to read through 100 pages to get the gist of it. But the draft white paper has been completed. Obviously, there's editing, a bit of editing, formatting, that type of thing, and hopefully making it shorter. But that is completed. Website not yet, unfortunately. Development's slotted to start in the next week or two.
Yes, and that was a big part of that, guys. We had to raise a bunch of capital for the whole the website, the audits. It's going to be audited. It's built by BTT guys, the same guys who built PLAZM. Grover knows them very well. So does AJ. So we know it's going to be safe and secure. And we're just in the phase of starting to raise funds for the liquidity part. And maybe we should start talking about that, Graham, a little bit. In the meantime, guys, if you have questions on anything else, please put them in the comments. I will get with them. What are we actually looking for? Because I know we talked about possibly a February 1st launch date. Until then, what are we actually looking for, Graham?
Okay, first the question that everyone is going to ask is, how much are you wanting to raise, right? And ideally, I would like ideally to have a strong, solid foundation. 150K of liquidity for the system is ideal, right? And that enables 100K for the primary pair, which will be LSteak Ethereum, and 50K for the secondary pair, which is SLSteak LSteak. So to enable the transitions between systems. That's the split, and that's ideal starting a liquidity level that we would like to hit. Now, so obviously pre-launch, what we're doing is trying to raise as much liquidity as we possibly can, and as a result, being a pre-launch, we try and make it as attractive as possible. We're trying to keep the minimum entry fairly low. Minimum entry is $500. After your initial entry of $500, you can then add to your investment at whatever rate. If you've got $10 a week until launch, you can put $10 a week until launch and so forth. But the 500 initial minimum is required. What you receive for that is 20% of that investment is returned to you as pure LSteak, which you can either just hold or you can stake into the liquid stake, which is obviously your best option. Or if you really wanted, you could sell it, but I don't see why you would. The remaining 80% is used for bootstrap liquidity. All right. Now, that's bootstrap liquidity is earning the pre-launch investors' yield as well. They are obtaining the yield for that liquidity. Bootstrap liquidity providers will have their liquidity held in a separate DEX vault for auditing simplicity, and also to ensure that everything's as safe as possible, and as transparent as possible. Okay. The other 80% becomes the bootstrap liquidity, and the yield from that is split as follows: 80% of it is paid back to you in LSteak. All right, 5% of those fees is used to buy and burn LSteak. All right, this means that the fees are generating a constant burn pressure on LSteak, pushing its internal backing up. And because it's buying off the marketplace, it's also pushing the internal, pushing the trading price of LSteak up again. The other 15% compounds back into the bootstrap liquidity. So as time goes on, your bootstrap liquidity position increases. Okay. The liquidity that you provide will have to be, to ensure that we've got strong liquidity, will have to be locked for a stability window of 3 months. Now, unlike what a lot of projects do, is where then it's released and you've got a whole big huge dump of liquidity, whole big dump of coins, etc. I'm using a protocol, a method based upon the growth of the protocol-owned liquidity. After those 3 months are up, a monthly release will happen, enabling anyone that wishes to remove their liquidity to remove their liquidity. The amount will be based upon half of the increase in the protocol owned liquidity for that month, and it will be released on a first come, first served basis, and you can't take any more out than your percentage or your initial percentage of the bootstrap liquidity. And that's percentage, not dollar value. If you had 1% of the bootstrap liquidity, you can remove 1% of the the bootstrap liquidity vault at the end of that period. And that's basically and on top of that, as a thank you, there is the LSteak, SLSteak portion of the liquidity provision. We are given a 2.5% rebate in some extra LSteak.
Okay, yeah, and then your liquidity earns you the ongoing yield.
Yep, exactly, and not only that, because the liquidity is in LSteak and SLSteak, it's subject to the appreciation price and its appreciation. So you've got full exposure to that as well while it's being in there.
Okay. And then Paul says, can you buy LSteak tokens outright to just sit and hold?
Yes.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
I mean, like you will be able to buy it directly off the market. That will obviously push up the trading price, or you can mint it there. It will be an internal router which will enable you to just go to the site and enter. It will choose the best option for you and for the ecosystem to give you to get you in, and you can just hold LSteak if that's what you want to do. You can stake it into LSteak and then hold the SLSteak to do it to get in. And in answer to why people selling LSteak, that's the whole idea of liquidity staking, is so that it enables people to be able to use it as they need, instead of having to either have a lock-in or having to unstake it and a waiting period or things like that.
Right. So yeah, pretty much. Here it is, right, guys, right here. The summary for $1,000 investor. When you invest your $1,000, now this is pre-launch, guys. Okay, so this is all pre-launch funds. $500 minimum. You get $200 with LSteak at launch, $800 liquidity position earning yield. The bonus will be $13.33 in an LSteak rebate. And then you obviously get the yield from all the liquidity and the partial monthly unlock after the 3 months, all backed by real yield and not inflation. Zero Ponzi-nomics, guys, as usual, and things of that nature. So that's kind of what we're looking for. I know. So hypothetically, Graham, if we don't raise the 150,000, what happens to people that have deposited? And what happens to, do we just shut it off? And, what happens?
Worst case scenario, because of how the entire system is designed, worst case scenario is we could shut it off, redeem everything. Obviously, being Bernard bonds, there would be a 10% redemption fee, and then we're able to redistribute the funds back to anyone, to all involved proportionately.
Okay,
that's if it's after launch. That's after launch. Pre-launch, we would be able to return all those funds if necessary.
Yeah, say we don't raise the 150 and it just doesn't get off the ground. They'll get 100% of their funds back.
I'd like to make sure you also know. 150 is the ideal point to be launched. Minimum amount to be able to function at launch is 50K.
Okay.
Obviously, that's a small amount of liquidity, and it would be a very slow start from there. But that is minimum amount of being able to function for a loan.
Okay. So minimum of 50,000 just to get, just that'd be the minimum amount that we need to raise, and then 150 would be ideal.
Yeah,
and for
over that, brilliant.
Yeah, right. And then the summary just went over. This is what you're going to get, guys, right here. If if you go in with $500 or 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is, that's the point of this whole first AMA is to know what we need to raise. Like I said earlier, I was a big part in the development, because obviously development for the website and everything else, guys, is very, very expensive. That's already taken care of. The development, the audit money, website, it's things of that nature. That's already done. Okay. This is just for the liquidity. So I don't think raising, 50 to 150,000 in the next month and a half to 2 months is going to be a big deal. Especially, we're hoping the bulls start running any second. Markets don't look like it today, but obviously, and everything is on the base chain, guys. Okay. Same as PLAZM, same as, eShare, same as Bernard bonds, DexFi treasury bonds, all on base, obviously. And that's pretty much the gist of LSteak. This is what this goes about, is to let people know what's needed and what it's all about. I know there's going to be a ton of questions, but we're going to, there is an investor group that people can join, and I will put that link in the description to come in and ask questions. Grover, obviously, the guy doesn't sleep, so he'll be in there answering questions and whatever you need. Like Grover said, or Graham, he said, if it doesn't get off the ground, say you put in $5,000 today. We don't get off the ground, you're going to get your $5,000 back. It's going nowhere until it actually launches. Okay, so that's very important,
because that portion is for the liquidity. That's why we can continue to the raise almost until like the moment we turn on, right? Because it's the liquidity. 2, right up until it's turned on, it's not. It's still sitting there in USDC.
Right. Yeah. Pay with stables, USDC base guy. It doesn't get off the ground, you get your money back. I think it'll launch. And we should also ask the question, well, what is I know it's not financial advice, and I know it's a hard question, Graham, but what is the expected APR, or what do you expect the token to do and things of that nature as far as price goes?
I mean, looking at it mathematically speaking, you're looking at it's hard with a staking token. It's hard to go, this is going to be the APR, because it's not really expressed as an APR. All right, it's more expressed as an increase in ratio of redemption. All right, but if you were to convert that to an APR, you're looking at minimum of similar APR to Bernard bonds, all right, within 5%, plus minus 5-10%, all right. Depending on volume, depending on interest, you could be looking up at to double that, depending on how things are moving along, and as it further expands with further projects, the APR of the LSteak portion of it will be continually going up, because it's getting more fees from more projects, and that's getting fed into the engine, increasing the yield, reduce and the relative backing just continually. So the more projects that get on board, the faster it's. I wish that rooster would shut up. The faster its yield will increase. But you're looking at a minimum of around the APR of what Bernard bonds is, plus or minus 5 to 10%.
Right. Okay.
As a base yield.
Right. Okay. And do you have any? I know we're just starting to talk about it, but I know we've been talking for the last week or whatever. Have you had any interest, just from besides me and guys behind the scene, to putting anything into this, just as far for early numbers as a raise?
Already, in the group with already the investors, the investors group, which are all people that are seriously interested in investing or are going to be investing. There's already, I think it's 20 members there, and haven't really been actively looking for people. There has been two people. There has been a bit over 2.5 jump straight in. The other investors are wanting to just get a little bit more information, see a couple of AMAs before they jump on board. But we're looking at a minimum there of about 20 times about 5. There's around about 20K already looking to be invested.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's almost halfway to our 50. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, I'm going in heavy into this, guys. If it comes down to it and we're not, we're getting close, I might just put some more just so we can get this off the ground, because I love the idea. I love the mechanics behind it. I think everyone can appreciate, Graham's, input on everything that's happened with PLAZM and working with, AJ and BTT and things of that nature. And I'm excited about it, just because it's going to be another tool in my toolbox. I want to hold LSteak.
I would like to quickly add for people that are investing, is with your investments, the risk profile is actually very low. I mean, worst case scenario is if the things start to go belly up, we can liquidate all of the backing and return the return funds proportionally back to everyone invested. That to me is an investing a switch. Go for it, simply because at any time in the future, if there was an emergency, your backing of LSteak can be returned to you.
Okay. So in an emergency, say I have $5,000 into it or whatever, I'd be like, Graham, I ran into some crazy, life complication. I'm gonna have to, can I get my, or a portion or 2,500, $3,000, or even the 5,000 back? I mean, can we make that happen? That's kind of what you're saying, right?
By emergency, I was more meaning an ecosystem emergency, like if.
Sure.
If there was some incidents to occur, or a black swan event in occurrence, we can pause everything, get your funds back to you, and try to keep everyone safe and whole.
Right.
Technically speaking, I suppose it could be possible if there was a situation like that, but it's not something we'd be looking to do because you'd have people wanting to withdraw to redeem funds for whatever reason they wish to put forward, and that opens up a huge kettle of fish.
Right. Yeah. Or a can of worms, like we say in the States.
Yeah.
So one other thing I was going to ask, but while you were talking there, just came to me. What's preventing? Obviously, everyone knows what tokens. We've seen it in PLAZM, we've seen it in eShare. What's going to be preventing an LSteak holder from just dumping in everyone's heads? Just like all these other protocols do. Is there a buy and burn? Is there a protection against that, Graham, or what does that look like?
Okay, there are buy and burns throughout the system, basically. First of all, there are buy and burns throughout the system in multiple places. Right. For example, through
We lost you. We lost you, Graham.
Oh, am I back?
There you are. There you are. Okay, start over.
If I'm back yet.
You're there. Okay, I think you're good. Maybe not.
Oh, I think I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where was I? I've got to think what I was saying.
Just start from the beginning. Yeah. The buy and
I've got to
burns and yeah, the preventing from dumping and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. There are a number of buy mechanisms. The first one is on entry. All right. If market price is equal or higher than the mint price, it will mint. It will directly mint the token for you to enter. When the market price is in the zone of from under mint price to -3% to -3% under mint price, what it does is it will buy off the market. All right, it will burn half of the excess that you would get. So if minting got you 100, if you had minted it and it would get you 100 LSteak, whereas buying would get you 103. It will burn half of that and give you the remainder. So, like if you entered, you'll enter and you'll get 101.5 LSteak, and there's that small burn to help close the gap between market price and mint price. That's your first burn entry. If it's lower than the 3%, market entry doesn't have any burn. So if you were to buy off a Dex, there's no burn off that. That is to encourage markets, organic markets rebound. However, all internal actions such as compounding and so forth, what they do is, for example, let's say it was 10% under, right? And the compounding of SLSteak needed to buy 100 LSteak. It would normally mint the equivalent of 100 LSteak. It would buy it off the marketplace, get 110 LSteak. It burns that's 10, right? To help rapidly bring it back, market price back up and close the gap between market and mint price. The internal transactions then switch over to 100% burning the excess difference between markets, or what you get from the market and what you get from the mint, until it then brings it up into a safe safe zone. Also, there are on top of that a peg bots or it's more similar to an arbitrage bot, which helps maintain price parity between the ecosystem tokens, and as the ecosystem expands, the further project tokens. And last point of call is, if we really needed to intervene, we do have runaway funds and access to utilize the treasury allocation of the fees to be able to, in worst case scenario, intervene. Again, the intervention wouldn't be in a scenario, in a method that would be just providing exit liquidity. It would be in the form of a buy and burn.
Right. Okay, so multiple things in place, guys. Buy and burns just like PLAZM. And like I said before, this isn't a replacement for PLAZM. I'm still bullish on PLAZM. I just want exposure to things that are up and coming and new, from people I trust, from people that I can talk to, not hiding behind a keyboard, and from a team that I trust, all under the EMP umbrella. Graham, is there anything else before we, because, obviously, once again, guys, this video is just we're looking for pre-launch investment. Obviously, we went over what a pre-launch investment will get you. I want to be early in those things because you're getting the token at the cheapest price. You're getting a bonus. You're getting, a few different promises, and I love that. I want to be in things in early. There's zero Ponzi-nomics. But is there anything else we should touch on, Graham, before we? We're going to touch on more things, in another AMA, and, People are gonna be asking you questions like crazy in the group. So, was there anything else we should touch on before we?
The only thing I really want to say is people need to be looking at this as not just an investment on its own, but also as a tool to be able to boost your existing investments in the EMP umbrella, EMP DexFi umbrella, right? Because using Bernard bonds, that's helping the overall bonds bond system. eShare has already AJ has already said that eShare will be coming on board. So it's another tool to help boost your own bags, right? Yes, LSteak on its own is a solid investment and is going to be a great method of increasing your wealth, both medium to long term. It's also a tool to be able to pump your own bags because you will be able to get into another use case. You'll be able to get into a system which is putting buy pressure, which is locking up tokens, which just snowballs all down along all of the ecosystem projects.
Right. Excellent. The only other question I saw was, does Ryan actually live in Antigua? No, I don't. I'm just here on vacation for 12 days. Also, just hitting the beach and relaxing for 12 days before it's back to the grind. But I wanted to get this out. Obviously, I'm glad there's good enough Wi-Fi to do it here. But this is it, guys. Like I said, another tool in your toolbox. It's going to help Bernard Bonds. It's going to help, which in turn helps DexFi, which in turn helps Treasury Bonds, which helps EMP. All under one umbrella, all built by the best. AJ and his team, BTT, all doxed. Everyone, nobody's hiding behind a screen. Grover's here to answer questions just like he does in PLAZM. I'll put the link in the description to the investors group, which is very important to go in there. Join, ask the hard questions. Ask Grover will explain everything. He's explained everything to me many times because everyone knows I'm not that smart. And I need to be explained like I'm four. And I'll admit that, which is fine. I think we pretty much covered, we covered a lot, guys. That's why I wanted to keep it an hour because we're going to do more AMAs where you can come and ask questions and also get yourself informed in the Telegram group, obviously. I'll put that in all my Telegram groups. Here's the link to the investors group. Anything we need to end on, Graham?
No, I don't think there's anything that pops immediately to mind. Okay. Basically with LSteak, you're able to have your steak and you can eat it too.
Yeah, have your steak and eat it too. No pun. Well, pun intended. Pun intended. So, okay. Well, we'll call that good enough for now. It's been an hour, guys. I thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, link in the description for the investors group. And I think that's important to get into there and ask the questions because obviously there's going to be questions.
I am all for 100% transparency. I am not afraid to answer the hard questions. And moving forward with everything to do with LSteak, we will have everything 100% transferred. All contracts will be addresses and wallets will be provided, so you'll be able to pull it all up on DexFi and see for yourself where things are going. There is nothing black boxed behind the scenes. You can see where things are going.
Right, and that's what's important. This is why I love the team. This is why I love talking to Grover because he's honest. He's in front of me. I can talk to him. I can message him anytime. Like I said, the guy doesn't sleep. And amazing stuff. I can't wait for LSteak. You guys get your USDC on base bags ready. Let Grover know. DM him, obviously in Telegram. Give him a wallet address, TX hash if you're going to invest, and ask the questions. Get in there and ask.
If you're going to invest, investment has already been, as I said, it is open now. The deposit in with deposits are USDC on base. Make sure you confirm wallet address before you send. I don't want to hear of any sends to some random address by mistake, and because that's the worst thing in the world. So please double check the address before you send. Custody of that wallet is held by EMP, so it's so you know that AJ and the team, not just you know that the funds are held by trusted team, not just, I mean, like you all know me, but then I'm just one person. So we've decided custody for to be held by EMP, and just as a secondary, although all the information of the transfer will be available on chain, as a secondary source of proof that it has gone in and all the information, DM me with the transaction detail hash and the amounts. So that's as we move forward with the spreadsheet of hopefully the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are going to invest. We've got the full record to be able to enable it to be opened up, etc., and what needs to be done. Right.
Perfect. All right. You guys have the info. Love it. I think this is very productive. I'm glad we got this out there. There was like almost 40 people watching. We'll get 400 or 500 views in the next couple of days. Please join the Telegram group. Ask the questions. Docs team, Docs wallets. I don't know what else you can ask for. All under the EMP umbrella, guys. With that said, I have got a Mai Tai waiting for me at the beach. It's 85 degrees, and I am heading to the beach, and they're going to have a drink. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Friday, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you. Okay.